Hi everyone, my name is Mel Goldstein, and I'm going to be talking about my final paper, the Barcelona Model Post-Franco, its successes and also its challenges. So, quick overview, the Barcelona model refers to a series of urban regeneration initiatives put into action after Francisco Franco's death in November of 1975. Franco was a dictator who ruled a very strict regime, really repressed and oppressed the people of Spain and Barcelona. Specifically, they were not allowed to have any opposing views. They were just very limited in what they could do, what they could say, the languages they could speak. So after his death, it was time to move forward into democracy and decentralize. And a part of them doing this was the Barcelona model. So the Barcelona model has successfully promoted sustainability and inclusivity while also facing challenges like gentrification, urban sprawl, and pressure from lots of tourism and migration that followed this method and model. So the post-Franco, like we said, was a large turning point for Spain, and they had, after living under so much strict control, they decided it was time to re-urbanize Barcelona. So they created a plan, and here are some key elements of the plan. So the key principles of the plan were centered around creating an inclusive urban environment and fostering a sense of social coherency. And a large emphasis from this was public spaces. And this was done through urban acupuncture, which is creating empty spaces, pedestrianization, and they wanted people to have social cohesion from across all different types of social classes, hopefully for better quality of life, better economy, etc. So another large part of this was beaches. Beaches were a big part of social democracy, and they wanted to enhance cultural identity through these beaches. Included plans to make Barcelona a cultural capital with museums, libraries, auditoriums, and civic centers in every neighborhood because they have so much rich history, and they wanted to include that. They looked to blend modern design with the city's historical architecture as well because they have so much history and so much architecture that shows that history. And another main point of this was the connectivity network through transportation infrastructure through the city. So the new connectivity really revolutionized Barcelona's traffic flow, which also helped integrate all social classes. So some of the pros of the Barcelona model were, we know it was a very complex plan with multiple layers. Barcelona has always been a very condensed and densely populated city, so all of their plans throughout time had to be extremely thought out and planned. So the plan was very world-renowned and had been studied for years following its completion. Like London, when they were doing their Olympic Games, they studied the Barcelona model and so on. So some of the key elements, execution of the Barcelona, there were very many positive outcomes. One pro was the renewal and integration of old public spaces and the creation of new urban parks. And these spaces work towards their goal of helping bridge the gaps between economic and social groups that would help foster their ultimate goal of unity. On the topic of unity, the regeneration plan helped Barcelona's economy. Their GDP had grown 2.4% on average during the 1990s and 2.8% from 2000 to 2005. It drove success for Barcelona's cultural industries and helped rebrand them, especially along with the Olympic Games. So they are known for thriving in cultural industries like design, music, architecture, and this brand helps further public and private investments in Barcelona's culture. So this was a huge economic boom, especially thanks to tourism, which is now a huge part of Barcelona's everyday economy and is a very main driving factor in their success. So those are a lot of the pros that just really overall helped Barcelona get back on its feet and start to thrive again and enhance the idea of Spanish and Catalan unity. So some of the cons of the Barcelona model, there were the cultural refurbishing and heightened levels of tourism led to rising property prices like in the old city and nearby areas. These people could not afford to live in these places, and as a result, it ended up in lots of urban sprawl. So those who fall under this category moved to the outskirts of the city because it was more affordable for them. But because most of the cultural regeneration effort has gone to the city, these areas are worse, more chaotic, and the plan didn't they didn't have a general plan for these areas. So this poor planning left it low density, poor quality, very fragmented, and created a very large gap between classes, which is not what they wanted to happen. Tourist migrants, although it's really great for the economy, is also a challenge in Barcelona. The rise in tourism brings a lot of tension between social groups, tourist rates rising, creates a lot of tension between locals and visitors. So that's another big problem. Another big problem was these challenges affecting younger people and immigrants. And even though Barcelona stands strong with a very resilient economy, diverse and service economy, these new regulations in the labor market have resulted in unstable employment with younger people and immigrants. So because of this, they had to make some cuts in their welfare system, and which negatively affects their social cohesion. So in conclusion, the Barcelona model was a really great way to help Barcelona rebrand and further develop, though it did come with many positives and consequences, or it did come with many positives, though many consequences followed that are still very prevalent in Barcelona today. And in order to address these challenges, Spain needs to figure out a way to ensure the benefits of the Barcelona model can be accessible for all residents. Thank you.